It
just
takes
made
a
it
while
easier
to get that.
and they went to
Target.
us.
Good on
Where is it?
And
the
we
people
said
said
to
that
them,
I say
"Why
shake
don't
it,
you
you know,
So finally they get to the bar, there's a flat
So
area.
we had a
Playground.
and
wait.
in the 1970s,
And this would have been 1978.
We went on a road trip with a few friends.
It was like a bunch of, like friends of mine and some girls as well. So everybody said yes, so I couldn't say no.
And we'd been planning this trip for ages
Down to Washington.
to visit some family and friends.
and stupidly thought going up there would be a good idea.
About a 14-hour drive.
It was a long journey.
So we had a car packed up with kids, dogs.
And it was a lovely afternoon.
So we jumped in the car.
And away we go.
When we got onto the road, we realised we had no idea what we were doing.
And we're in the South, which can be somewhat of a scary place, and there's loads of unusual things that can go on down there.
Except that this was 20 years ago. And
Things are a little different then.
During that time,
There weren't many laws and it was all a little bit rowdy.
There's what we call rednecks.
we're now kind of all revved up into a frenzy.
And these are some scary people.
Like,
it was a totally bizarre time.
Okay, we've been driving for quite a while by now.
for about 3 days. 3 very long days. At that point, everyone's getting a bit uncomfortable and bored. And then suddenly,
It's starting to rain. So no big deal. We'll keep driving, and the rain starts to pick up some more.
When there's a rumble of thunder and the heavens open and a massive downpour.
We didn't know where we were going, we couldn't see the road.
And we decide, you know what, Rich, let's stop.
I said, great, good idea, let's do it.
My boyfriend knew the area really well, and he remembered that there was an
Overpass. So we were underneath, and there was a road above us, which gave us the shelter, so we're out of the rain. It's 2 a.m.
it's dark.
You could not see a thing.
We're in the middle of nowhere. It's cold. It's rainy.
And always remember, because we're right at that Alabama border with Georgia, which is kind of notorious for people who know anything about the South, a little bit spooky.
It's not
Really a place you want to be.
So we were in the car with a group of small children.
And we heard some noise. We heard some voices faintly above us. Oh, that's kind of weird. It's a spooky place here in the deep South. Huh.
And we're all kind of looking at each other thinking,
What are we doing this for? Where are we going?
Like in my mind, I keep saying to myself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
but then suddenly
As a truck was going by,
I hear this massive bang!
This incredibly loud noise.
big smash. We turn, look, and we see a truck has just gone past us, swerving and moving, and it looks like it's going to go off the road.
And he just by instinct
Somehow pulls it back together.
And I couldn't believe what I had just seen.
Huh. And we're quite shaken as we almost saw this truck just go piling off.
I legitimately thought that he had died.
I don't know, my whole body was like, I was shaking and I was cold.
and people were screaming, people crying and really frightened, didn't know what to do.
And it's just terrifying because you think, what if that had been me?
The air was thick with smoke, and
It's really hot. It's like really muggy.
Then we sniffed, and we could smell in this humid air. We could smell watermelon.
I'm not even kidding.
It was so weird.
I think, oh, watermelon. Huh. You smell, yeah.
And then we looked down
And we could see pieces of watermelon.
and I stared at it, trying to figure out what it was. And then it clicked, like what had just happened.
Was someone up above on the bridge that we could hear before had launched a watermelon at this truck and hit it.
I mean, how weird is that?
Yeah, and we look, and there's chips and chunks of watermelon all over the road that we can see.
And I can still smell it to this day.
Suddenly, the truck, which is pulled over, we see the truck driver
Who's humiliated and doesn't want to appear to be a coward.
coming towards us.
crying, really distressed.
And I thought, oh my god, who's that? And we're like, there's just no way that we can stay here any longer.
When he's getting closer, we decided we better go approach this guy, because now we've known what happened. So we started approaching.
Oh my god, so we're in a bit of a bind here.
And we could see in the way the one arm was moving, he had a pistol.
We're like, oh, fuck.
So that had us a little bit concerned.
I can remember a moment where I thought, we could all die. This could easily be the end of all of us.
And I almost had a little bit of a heart attack.
So yeah, that was probably like one of the most frightening moments of my life.
So this is like the moment of truth.
Well, we should probably, go back and explain.
So we approached and sort of had our hands up and out.
But with hindsight, it was a really stupid thing to do.
And said, hey, sorry, sir.
And my voice was shaking a little bit.
I don't know, it seems sometimes that like your brain just disconnects when you do these things.
And so we waited there to see what would happen. And
He's covered in blood, like it's all over his face. And he just says,
No, I could see what happened. I saw that guy up there with that watermelon. I saw him, and I saw him throw it.
we're just thinking, what is this guy gonna do?
He goes, don't worry. And he ran up the hill looking, in essence, hunting the people who had thrown it, who obviously, once they had seen what had happened, had taken off and had their joy fun for the night.
And I mean, thank God, because it could have gotten messy.
And then he came back down. We spoke with him for a bit.
we had a car.
We even offered him a lift home.
He said, no. But what we did do was at the next stop, we pulled over, called the police, and that was the end of that.
True story.
But there were so many things about that day that were extraordinary.
I'll never forget it. But I mean, now we can look back at it and it's a great story.
Yeah, and I won't ever forget them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very frightening day.
My name's Emma, I'm from Sydney, and my story was about being stuck in the Amazon for 2 weeks.
My name's Isla, I'm from Sydney, and my story is about my dad falling off a ladder.
My name is Lorenzo, I come from Florence in Italy, and my story is about the first time I went skydiving.
My name is John. I'm from Scotland, and my story is about a journey up a mountain in search of the meaning of life.
My name's Jenny, I'm from Sydney, and my story is about escaping a bushfire.
My name's Mark. I'm from Delaware in the USA, and my story's about a gunman and a watermelon in the middle of the night.
After a while,
And Dad's lying awake, and I tell her, ask questions like, what's my name? What year is it?
The longest, the most frightening.